Are you drunk right now?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not drunk. So my thing is, like, I can drink and be super, super functional. When your podcast started, about 30 minutes into it, I had like 4 shots of vodka.
You don't sound even slightly inebriated.
That's what the issue is.
Hello?
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. What is your name?
It's Rachel.
Rachel, how's life, dude?
Yeah, it's good actually right now.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. What do you want to talk about today?
Do you see any of my texts?
Nope.
No. Okay. All right. So no, life's good. I've been a drug addict since I'm 13, and I am your age right now. I am extremely functional. I am super dedicated, super passionate, can carry a job, but had lots of trauma in life. So I don't know. Which way do you want to take it?
How old do you think I am?
Like 26.
Yeah, I'm 26.
Yeah. So I turned 25 in May. So we're similar ages.
So, are you still addicted to drugs?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do you see a drug counselor person?
I used to, but my insurance, they terminated my plan. So I haven't recently. And so when I stopped seeing them, everything kind of like kicked back into action, but I'm not doing anything like heavy anymore. I haven't done anything heavy since I was probably like 3.
Okay. But you don't seem like you're doing this, but I'm just going to give this disclaimer real quick. I am not a real therapist. I know you know that. I know you listen to the podcast.
So
I know you know that. I know you know that. I know you know. But just putting that out there, I'm not a real therapist. I'm happy to talk to you about your current drug addiction as like a random dude on the internet.
Absolutely.
But as long as I'm just establishing that context.
Yeah. So I went to school to be a therapist. So I understand, and I've listened to your podcast for quite some time. So I totally understand where you're coming from. Honestly, you could be a therapist. Okay. But
now that we've established that, we can get into the fun part. What kind of drugs are you addicted to?
So right now it's just alcohol. I used to be addicted to cocaine. I did acid every weekend for 2 years while I was in high school. I did a bunch of cocaine post high school, in college, dabbled in ketamine. Nothing like I didn't do meth. I didn't do heroin. I was addicted to opioids from like 14 to 16.
So right now it's just you're just drinking a lot.
Yeah. I don't smoke weed because I get too anxious. So right now it's really just. Go ahead.
Are you drunk right now?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not drunk. So my thing is, like, I can drink and be super, super functional. So when your podcast started, about 30 minutes into it, I had like 4 shots of vodka. I think I took 3 or 4 more since.
You don't sound even slightly inebriated.
That's what the issue is. I'm a very functional person. I just get like more like lovey-dovey and more like into my emotions, I guess.
So you're 7 shots deep right now.
If not more, yeah.
That's crazy. How long have you been like? Do you drink every day?
So I went to a detox facility at one point because I was like, I can't do it anymore. And I was like 2 months sober. And then since then, yeah, I've pretty much just been drinking every day. So that was like in March.
So, and you have this thing where you can just take 7 shots. I've literally, you sound like a stone cold sober after 7 shots. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. I've never encountered that.
Yeah, no, I can drink half a bottle of Tito's and someone wouldn't know that I'm actually drunk. Until they ask me about my day and they're like, oh, you remember that? And I'm like, what? No.
And this does this affect your like job or your relationships or like how does this negatively affect your life?
No, not at all. Besides, like, maybe sometimes I'm late to work. Actually, most of the time I'm like 5-10 minutes late to work. But no, I hold a job, I hold my friendships, I hold a relationship, I carry on with my life.
Okay, so you're in a relationship. You have a boyfriend?
Yeah, I have a new boyfriend. It's only been like maybe a month.
And what's your boyfriend think about all this?
I don't know. I haven't asked him. He's very aware of it, but I have not asked him specifically what he thinks about it.
In your 26 years of, or I guess 13 years of like drug addiction, has alcohol or any of these stuff like like I guess clearly you've been able to be functional, but like has it taken a toll on any things in your life?
Not particularly. I mean, and maybe like when I was in high school, I was like, I don't give a fuck, and I had like a 1.8 GPA, and then my boyfriend went to a high-end college, a high-end university, and I wanted to follow him there, boyfriend of the time. So I got my shit together, still drank, but got my shit together and got my GPA up and got accepted into college. And I was with him, my previous ex, for like 6 years, and I graduated with a 3.975. So I wouldn't say it has, maybe like it's all physical effects, if I'm being honest.
How do you physically feel right now?
Oh, I get like chronic diarrhea. Right now though, right now I feel great. But yeah, I have like GI issues. I have like hangovers occasionally. Not occasionally, I would say maybe like I wake up in the morning, don't feel great. By midday, I feel fine. Definitely, I've gotten to the point where I'm so drunk that I'm like, you know what, we could just end this all. And I've tried to commit suicide a few times.
Well, how recently has that happened?
The last time was probably like, well, I also was on shrooms. So the last time I was drinking and tried was probably like 2 years ago. But the last time that I tried was maybe a year and a half ago, but I was tripping really hard. I didn't even drink. I was just tripping really hard on shrooms.
Do you feel better now?
I mean, currently right now, yeah, I feel great at where I'm at. Like having a partner that I'm really, really into, and I have a great job, and I have a great apartment, and I pay my bills, and I have 3 beautiful kitties.
So, I guess, why do you keep drinking every day?
It's not even like I mean, I go through withdrawal if I don't drink, but that's not why I keep drinking. It's more of like, it feels very freeing. Like I have no anxiety. My depression's gone. Like I just feel like a great human being if I drink, whether it's a small amount or a large amount.
Mm. So it just numbs your anxiety and your depression, and you just keep it up so that you don't have to deal with all that shit.
And I mean, I have faced it. I've been sober. I have faced it. I've gone through many months of therapy and been put on medications and stuff, and I still have felt never better if I drank.
And in the past 13 years of dealing with this stuff, you have been to rehab and you have talked to counselors and therapists and whatnot, right?
Yes, absolutely.
What do they tell you? Like, if you I'm sure you've expressed this sentiment that you just expressed to me. This idea of like, okay, well, when I'm drunk, I don't have to deal with my anxiety. I don't have to deal with my depression, all this stuff. When you tell that to these people, what do they tell you?
I mean, that it's just like addiction, that you're just like numbing out and stuff like that. But in my opinion, I feel more. I'm able to express more when I am drunk or high or tripping or anything. And I think it comes down to me like numbing out my emotions when I'm sober. And I mean, if you do that for over a decade and numb yourself out because of trauma and stuff, it feels great to just like let loose for once and not be stuck in your head sober.
Sober you is stuck in your head.
Oh, absolutely. Overthinking constantly.
Well, I can't fucking argue with that. I can't fucking argue with that. I can't. Yes, you're gonna overthink, and you're gonna overthink and be more anxious when you're sober than when you're drunk. Sure, that is a thing I cannot argue with. And I guess so. You're trying to cheat the system because you went like, because that's what it is, right? It's like you've heard that fucking idea that like alcohol is borrowing your happiness from tomorrow, right? You've heard that. And so you were like, oh, I have this genius idea. If I just keep drinking, tomorrow will never come, and I'll never have to pay the debt back. I'll just keep borrowing. I just keep borrowing until I die, and then once I die, they can't reap my debt back. That's the idea, right?
Not really. I don't necessarily agree with the last part. Like, I drink for the moment, not to be like, oh, tomorrow will be better. Like, tomorrow's going to be worse regardless until you like start up again. Or honestly, to be honest, I have great relationships with all my coworkers, all my friends, and that also gives me relief if I'm sober. Like I'm such a social person. I'm fucking hilarious, not to geck my own goat, but I have so much fun socializing with people that I can be sober like post drinking and be very, very happy and not in my head.
So let me ask you this. Do you want to stop drinking?
I did for a while. Yeah. I went to like...
Hold on. You did stop drinking or you did want to stop drinking?
I did want to and I did stop.
Okay. And
yeah,
now
I went to a detox facility.
Now do you want to stop drinking? Like as you're talking
No, that's what the hard part is. I know that like on a systemic level, like my body is gonna, like the chat had said, I saw one comment, like you're gonna die at 45, like probably. And that is my biggest fear. Like I don't want to, because it brings me so much joy and so much release in my day-to-day life. But I know that health-wise it's not okay. And that gives me a lot of anxiety to think about that, you know, I'm going to get like lymphoma or like mouth cancer or, you know, I'm just going to have like an cancer one day.
I'm going to try my best here with this.
Okay.
So and I think I actually talked to somebody who had a kind of similar issue maybe like a year ago on this podcast. But it's like,
I probably already listened to it.
So, okay. So a few things. Clearly you don't suffer from confidence issues, which is good. You like yourself. You know that you're great at socializing. You know that you're good at talking to people. You know that you're good at your job. You know that you're, attractive enough to hold down a relationship, that you are emotionally available enough to hold down a relationship. Like you have a positive self-image of yourself, right?
Yeah, correct.
And it's not even just like something that's in your head. It's like proven. You're holding down a relationship. You're holding down a job. You're holding down friends. You're doing all this stuff. Do you believe that you can do those things sober? That you can be
Great
this
question.
person sober?
I do believe I could, but do I feel that on like a cellular level when I'm sober? No, I feel like I'm withdrawn and I'm not as exciting. And I've been told wrong already from like friends who I got sober with, but I probably could, but to me, it's not as exciting.
For whatever it's worth, from me, I believe you can do all of those things sober. Now, of course, after like drinking as much as you have, like you're going to be going through crazy withdrawals. And
I do it, yeah.
And look. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a scientist. I don't know. I'm not a medical person. So I don't know the timeline of how long it takes to get over withdrawals, but like maybe if you quit drinking, you'd experience, and I mean, look, you told me you quit drinking a while, so maybe you've experienced this already. Maybe when you quit drinking, you experience those withdrawals for however long. I don't know how long it takes for you to come over with withdrawals.
It's like 3 to 6 days.
3 to 6 days. Okay, so for the next 3 to 6 days, maybe you're not all those things because you're dealing with fucking withdrawals. But then once you get over your hurdle, I fully believe you can be a confident, successful, competent person doing all these things, being social, having a good life, sober. And get this.
So I've done that.
Okay, okay. Tell me what happened when you did that.
So I felt super. So when I got sober, the counselor I was seeing wanted to put me on antidepressants and anti-anxiety because I had no drive to do anything. I would stay in bed. I didn't want to socialize. I didn't want to like go on Tinder and meet people. I didn't want to be adventurous. Like it was very much not what I know me as myself. But it like what I know me as myself right now is who I was when I was like a kid and sober. So, I mean, maybe there's a larger hump to get over, whether it's like a couple months.
How long were you? How long were you sober for?
2.5 months.
And during that 2.5 months, you didn't feel like yourself?
No, not at all.
I'm not a doctor. I'm a man in a gecko costume. But I'm a man in a gecko costume who really wants to believe there is some reason why when you are sober for those 2 months, you're not feeling yourself. And that reason is not because you're sober. I don't know what that reason is. I also want to believe
medication.
I also want to believe that you can figure out what that reason is and then you can solve it. Because here's the thing. Even if your brain is right, which I'm telling you I don't think it is. Even if even if your brain is right that the reason you're able to be socially confident and all these great things in your life is because you're drunk. Whoop-de fucking do. You're going to be able to be those because you're going to be able to be those things for really not that long because it's going to kill you. So who cares if it's the reason? Who cares if it's the reason that you're all those things?
I mean,
right? And it's the tougher journey for you to get sober, figure out the reason why you feel like sober you can't be all those things, overcome it, and then try to lead a fruitful, long, sustainable life as a confident, socially competent, motivated person who's sober. That's going to be 1,000 times. I'm not going to dude, yeah, it's going to be 1,000 times more difficult than getting drunk every day. It's the harder path. You don't want to do the harder thing. You don't want to fucking do the work because it's goddamn hard. And of course, it's fucking easier to get drunk all day. But I just, it's I
mean, I've gone to therapists. I've talked. It's definitely not sustainable. But I've gone to therapists. I've talked about the trauma that I've had in my childhood, and I've worked through it and gone through it, and I still have this desire. And you're right, it's the easier path, but I've taken the harder path. Maybe not for long enough, but I just have never felt like myself in that longer path. Because I've known what I'm doing. Go ahead.
No, you go. If you finish, then I'll tell you what I was going to say.
I've gone that longer path for quite a while. I've tried it multiple times, and there's just something about it that doesn't feel like the authentic me. I feel very the childlike essence in me comes out when I'm drinking, or when I'm drunk, or when I'm on drugs, and I'm giggly and happy and open and friendly. And then if I'm sober, I'm more very not monotone, but the world feels monotone. And I've worked through that trauma. I've gone through it. I've admitted it all and accepted it all. So maybe there's more that I haven't worked through. But
can I admit something to you?
Yes, I would love for you to do that.
I'm probably on like 400 milligrams of caffeine right now. And
Okay.
it's ironic because I think a little part of me thinks I wouldn't have been able to confidently have this conversation with you as well as I could if I were not on 400 milligrams of caffeine. And so I just noticed that, and I was like, I think a little bit of a parallel between
So can I
two
admit
situations.
something? Can I admit something to you that I
sure.
realized this morning? So I was listening to the podcast with the man who was talking about time travel and how no one understands him, and he got sent to a mental hospital. I think it was like last year.
Yes,
but
there was a guy who like thought he was being stalked by time travelers.
Yeah,
and he went to all these like mental facilities, and nobody believed him that he was being stalked by time travelers.
He went to one mental health facility. He messaged the FBI. It's that one.
Okay, no, and I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Tell me how this relates to you.
So, as he was speaking about it, and he's saying that no one believes him, it really hit me hard. So, like, I went to school to be a therapist, and you have to always validate people's feelings. It hit me really hard that in his entire life, even you, but I mean, you're here to get him out. No one believes him, and he believes it to be his truth because, like, that is what he experienced. But what really got me at the end, which was like a synchronicity type thing, because I was like really, really into that podcast, is that he was like, oh, I'm going to school to be a vet tech and I want to work with cats. And that's exactly what I do. And I was like, oh, time warp. Like, it just hit me real hard this morning.
So for you, the idea that you need alcohol to be a competent human being is the same as the idea that this man is being stalked by time travelers.
No, they don't relate. You said
I feel like is that not the parallel that you're getting at right now?
No, maybe. No, you said something random, so I felt like I needed to say something random, and that's been on my mind, and that's been something like if I ever caught your attention to be able to say. But maybe. I just thought it was funny. Like he's pursuing the same job that I've been working for 4 years, and I believe him on a therapeutic level. And I guess that's really it.
Well, I mean, what's your name again?
Rachel.
Well, do you think you're gonna try to quit?
Not anytime soon. I don't think so. But I also don't want to hit rock bottom again where I have to go to like a detox facility, because that was the most traumatic experience I've ever had.
Look, I just I know it's easy as the guy who doesn't have to cash this check. But I believe, I know it's easy to say as the guy who doesn't have to cash this check, but I believe that you can be a competent human being without being, without taking 7 shots of vodka every day. That's all I can really, that's all. I'm sure you take more. I'm sure you take more. That's all I can really give you. I hope it's worth something.
Yeah, no, it's worth something. I hear you out, but it's like you have to want it yourself, and like maybe I'll get there at some point, but it's hard to really get there when it makes you feel so good and you're not seeing immediate health effects.
Rachel, is there anything else you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
I thought about this one and I forget what I wanted to say, but I guess get me out and pussy is life.
Have a good night, Rachel.
Bye.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a hypocrite because there's no way I'm quitting the caffeine.
Hello?
What is your name, sir?
Let's go by John.
So, John, what was it you wanted to talk about today?
Well, did you see my text, I'm assuming?
Yes, it says, "Hi, my name is John.
Don't. Yeah.
And I
Sorry
want to
about that.
talk about. By the way, everyone in the world is named that, but whatever. My name is John, and I want to talk about my OnlyFans donation problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Bit of an
what's
issue.
what is the problem in your own words?
So, I've probably spent close to $2,000 in the last month or so
Mm-hmm.
on OnlyFans. Which I'd say is a lot of money.
Is that through with messaging people?
Yeah, donations.
Okay. What do you think is compelling you to spend that much money?
So there's one specific woman who has gotten all of that money, who
Mhm.
she made it sound like she wanted a legitimate relationship with me.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is I live in Seattle and she lives in Boston.
Is that the problem?
One of them
Okay. What are the other ones?
is the fact I gave her all the money.
So, do you still talk? Do you still give her money?
I've stopped giving her money as of last week,
Mm-hmm.
and I still talk to her on a daily basis. I messaged her earlier today, but
So you're still talking with her without giving her money.
yeah, which is why
Okay.
I started giving her money in the first place, is because she seemed like a real person, because she was kind of on and off with the money at first.
Okay, and so now you're talking to her. You're talking to her, and is she asking you for money?
It'll be normal chats throughout the day, and then it'll get to the end of the night, and it'll be, hey, tip this much, and we can keep going type thing. And it escalated quickly from that.
Okay, so you're talking to her throughout the day, and then at the end, she's asking you for a tip.
Yeah.
Why do you think you keep talking to this lady?
Because I have nobody else to really talk to.
Oh yeah. How long have you had no one else to talk to?
In years, probably. Ever since
you have any
high school, really, I've just hang out with my friends, and that's all I really hang out with. They're mainly on Discord.
Okay. Yeah, loneliness is a fucking bitch, and it'll cause you to do things like spend $2,000 messaging OnlyFans. Gross.
Oh yeah.
So don't beat yourself up too badly, because you're battling quite a powerful force, my friend. And I don't know how the best way to handle loneliness. I mean, you have your friends, right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, talk to them most nights.
Do you attempt to or do you download dating apps? Do you put yourself out there in any way to meet real women?
Yeah, no, I have all of the apps. I've been on them for years now also.
Okay, and when you go on dates, how does that go?
Well, I've only managed to pull off one date.
Okay.
And that one date ended up being with a very autistic woman.
Okay.
And it kind of set me off of the whole dating app idea immediately, just from that one interaction.
Hold on. Why?
He didn't tell me at first, mainly. And so it just was a surprise. I was not expecting it, and it was a very awkward date.
That she was autistic?
Yeah, it was very.
Why was that? Why was that a problem? I mean, Why is her being autistic make you not want to go on a date with another person?
It's not that I don't want to go on another date. It's that I don't. I've tried to go on other dates. It's just the one date I did get to go through ended up being very awkward for me.
Okay, so
but I haven't had any other dates come up since then.
Did that turn you off of the idea of pursuing further dates?
It turned me off of the idea of using the apps mainly. I prefer to meet people in person.
Just because you had a one date that was kind of awkward?
Yeah.
Okay. What ways of trying to meet people in person have you pursued?
Not a lot, honestly. I mean, I'll go out sometimes with friends, but I don't chat much because I'm with my friends.
Yeah. Loneliness is a really difficult thing to deal with, you know.
Yeah.
But you gotta put yourself out there, you know. That you just gotta, you know. And look, if you're sending money to OnlyFans girls while you're trying to but you got to be at least. I mean, it's like trying to date is fucking like it sucks. But I mean, what else are you gonna do? Like, you got to put yourself out there if you want to find someone, you know.
Yeah. I get it.
And don't let one experience of that. Don't let one date that you didn't have fun on, prevent you from ever fucking going on other dates.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's just I'm very hard on myself, I guess.
Why?
I guess I'm just insecure. I don't know. Lots of issues.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, insecurity is a bitch.
Yeah.
Loneliness is a bitch. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, are your friends helpful?
One of them is. The other one's not so much.
Well,
I work with one of my best friends, which is the one who's helpful. So I get to talk to him most days.
You ever talk to a real therapist about this?
No, I have not.
Do you think it would be beneficial to?
I feel like it would, but at the same time, I'm reluctant to see a therapist just because I also have that thought in the back of my head that it would just be a waste of time.
Yeah. Look, man, again, as somebody who has absolutely struggled with loneliness and insecurity, it's a fucking bitch, dude.
Yeah.
It's a bitch, and that's again the conclusion that I think I've come to, and I think about this a lot. I swear on my life, is that you just gotta put yourself out there. That's all you can do, bro. Is just hammer away at putting yourself out there to try to find someone, and not be let whatever negative experiences you've had for whatever reason prevent you from doing that. And that's I think the best conclusion that I've come to on dealing with this shit.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions for how I might be able to put myself out there? Because I don't really have much of a social life outside of playing games on Discord.
Sure. Ways for you to put yourself out there. I mean, you got at least one date from the dating apps, which means that you can probably find other girls on dating apps that will go out with you. But Be careful. Dating apps can be like very depressing and heighten insecurity.
Yeah,
Just
that's
naturally.
part of why I don't use them.
Yeah, I know. I get that. But I would give it another shot, but tread lightly.
Okay.
Because yeah, there's many ways that dating apps can just make you feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So there's that. I guess where do you live?
Seattle area.
Okay. Look up fucking bullshit going on in Seattle. You must have things you like doing. You play video games. Look up a fucking video game tournament.
Tournament.
You get high. Look up a weed thing. You know, there's things. There's stuff. Go outside. There will be things and stuff.
Things and stuff.
You gotta give it a shot. You know what? You might be being facetious, but things and stuff is the answer.
No, I totally understand, man. I mean, I've been watching your podcast for two years probably now. So, I mean, I try to take everything you say to heart, but it's just difficult to apply it.
I don't know what else I fucking that scares me that you just said you try to take everything I say to heart. That makes me uncomfortable. But I hope it's working. John, is there anything else you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
Just do your best and stay positive. That's all I have to say.
Take care, John. Good luck.
Thank you.
Life's fucking crazy, dude. Life's a bitch. Life's a bitch, and it's fucking crazy. You just gotta deal with it being fucking crazy sometimes, man.
Absolutely.
That's all I can think. Man, that's all I can think. All right, take care, John.
Thank you. Goodbye.
That's all I got, dude. That's all I got, man. Life's fucking crazy. I don't have any other conclusion about it. I've spoken to 1 billion people, and I've thought 1 trillion thoughts, and the closest conclusion I can come to from any and all of that data is that life is fucking crazy.
Call from
Doug.
Hello?
Hello.
Doug, how's it going?
Hello. It's going all right.
Where are you calling from? The great nation of England? England's
I am.
Guy? What's going on over there? What are you guys doing today?
Not a lot. Was working earlier. Walking around a lake at the minute.
Let's see. It's about 7:30 p.m. here in New York as I'm recording, so it's like 3 o'clock in the fucking morning for you.
Not quite. Just gone midnight.
Oh, really? Oh, that's actually not that bad of a time difference.
Yeah.
What are you doing up so late?
Listen to you.
Very nice. Very
Trying
nice.
to call in.
Well, Doug,
Your voice sounds very different over the phone than on the stream.
Why do people keep saying that?
I don't know. Why is it so different?
Well, it sounds like the reason why it sounds different over the phone is because it's phone. When I talk to somebody over the phone, it sounds phony. Like not the word phony. I didn't even mean to. I literally didn't even mean to make a stupid pun. I like it. It sounds like your voice sounds different recording it through a phone than it would if we were just speaking on a thing. Who gives a shit? Doug, what's up? What do you want to talk about today?
I don't know. Got a few things we could talk about.
Pick your favorite one, and we'll talk about that.
Poor relationship with my family, I suppose, would be a good one.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I would sort of class myself as being estranged from my parents. I suppose.
How old are you?
I spoke with my 29.
Okay.
So I haven't spoken with my mum in probably 2-3 years, like since we've had like a real conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Father, not so much bad blood there, but just never really had that great relationship with them. That sort of makes sense.
Did you estrange yourself from your parents for a particular reason?
Yeah. Mother, definitely.
What's up? If you want to talk about it.
So her husband, my like air quote stepfather, I wouldn't class him as being a father. Sort of quite abusive over sort of the younger years of my life. So sort of got older and older, realised sort of how fucked up it was, kind of thing. Say like when I was about 16, 17, I sort of moved out of the house, sort of my own will. Had my mum somewhat guilt trip me into coming back under the guise that she was going to leave them when my like step siblings got to the age where she wouldn't have to deal with what do you call it, like split custody. But then that obviously never happened, and then tried to like gaslight me into it was never so bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. So I guess when did you kind of draw the line and you were like, fuck this, I'm not gonna be around with this anymore?
Like, I'd probably say sort of around 21 was when I kind of knew to myself, and I was still living with them at the time, but there was just like zero communication. It was just living there because I couldn't afford to live somewhere else. Sort of at that point, or I couldn't consistently just sort of like live elsewhere.
So you're mainly pissed off at your mom because she is still together with your stepdad, even though your stepdad was being an asshole.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay, well, is there anything more to it?
I wouldn't say so, to be honest. It sounds a little stupid, sort of saying it, or like hearing it from someone else. But
why do you think it?
What?
Tell me why you think it sounds stupid.
It almost just sounds like I'm being petty, but I wouldn't. I don't know. It's like almost sounds petty coming from you. But in my head, it's, I guess, my trauma, my lived experience trauma, I guess, if that makes any kind of sense. It doesn't really to me, but.
So, I don't think it's petty. I think that, I mean, you get to decide. You get to decide. I think the answer to that. You know what I mean? Like, you get to decide. I think the whole idea of like, am I overreacting with this? It's like up to you. Like, maybe you haven't. Maybe there's something where like you haven't realized that it's up to you. And like, if you really, I'm not trying to steer you in any other way. I have no horse in the race. But if you want to look at it and go, okay, well, I can still probably find common ground with my mom and a reason to still have my mom in my life despite all of these things, and I'm gonna make that decision. That's your decision to make. And if you want to look at this and go, you know what? No, she this has kind of been an unacceptable thing and a boundary, then that's your decision to make. But like, why does it sound petty when you hear it back from someone else? I don't know. Maybe you could like think about it more and really kind of think about it long. I guess I would think about it long enough that when you make your decision, you can say to yourself, you know what? I've thought about this from all angles. I've really taken how I feel into consideration. I've really taken the events into consideration, and I've made an informed decision as to what I want to do next, you know, with all this information. And there's some comfort in that. And I'm sure you've done, and also you can continue to reevaluate that decision as you go. Does that fucking make sense?
I guess where, like, I guess it sounds petty coming from you, because I'm only hearing like half the story, or like not even half, like a fraction of it, if that makes sense. I'm not sure.
Sure. By the way, I'm not trying to make it sound petty.
Oh no, I'm not saying you are. That was just the first word I could think in my head to describe sort of like how I felt when hearing it coming from you rather than in my own brain.
Okay. So, like, do you feel confident in your decision to not have your mom in your life?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like,
Okay.
I'd more or less sort of accepted that the next time I would see her would either be at my sister's wedding or when one of my grandparents passed away.
Okay.
So it's sort of like dead, not so much dead set, but that was sort of I'm not sure exactly how to put it. But I guess sort of like mentally preparing myself for that point, because I know like that's something I couldn't avoid. If that makes sense. Like now I don't need to see them. I avoid them at like all costs. See them in like the garage. I'll turn around, walk out, come back there 20 minutes later, kind of thing.
Well, look, man, I think if that's the decision that you made and you're confident in that decision, then I don't think that that's petty at all. Maybe I guess it sounds petty again because you heard me say it from a place with no context and you have 100% of the context. But yeah, you made your decision with 100% of the context. So I think you're good.
Okay, that's somewhat relieving to hear. I think like, a lot of people, when I have spoken to them about this, so some of them completely get it, where they've known my stepdad for like not as long as me, but for like 10 plus years. Know he's an absolute jackass. Right. But then there's like the people that don't have much context, like, well, it's your mum, man. Like, you can't hate your mum.
Hey, can I ask you for advice while I have you on the phone?
Sure.
This is a complete. Can I change the subject, or is there still more stuff about this you want to talk about? That's a legitimate question.
No, general question. Go on. Shoot.
Okay. No, you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. So I'm doing my live show in the UK and like London in November, and
oh my god, I didn't know. That's amazing.
Fuck. And damn, I don't know how to talk about this without giving like a little bit of a spoiler. Shit. All right, I'll just say this. Do you guys have Reese's cups over there?
We do.
All right, thank God.
They are
Holy
fucking
shit.
amazing.
Oh
Probably one
my
of the
God,
best things to come out of America.
That's so relieving. Do you guys have a lot of like American candy?
Yes. You have to go to the right place.
All right.
You go to like a big supermarket, they probably have like an American food section.
All right. Okay. Good. All right. I'm not gonna say anything else. But that's you know how earlier you just said that you're relieved. Like I feel relieved by you saying that as well.
That's good. I hope it makes your trip to the UK more enjoyable, knowing you've got those home comforts here for you as well.
Yeah.
Are the tickets available already for your show in London?
Yeah. I'm doing the Clapham Grand, which sounds very Londony. Have you been there?
Yeah, I have not.
Okay, it sounds very Londony. It sounds like a place. Well, it sounds like a place where they have fucking British shit. I should stop talking. Doug, I've enjoyed talking to you. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we go?
There is something else we could talk about, but it's not something I'd necessarily want to end up on a reel somewhere, if that makes sense.
Okay. I mean, this is a public... Whatever you say, I am going to put into a podcast that will be listened to by thousands of people.
Podcast is all cool. It's not as out there, if that makes sense.
Okay. I mean, is it quick? If it's quick, we can do a quick thing.
Quick enough.
All right.
So, like, about a year ago, I was a victim to a sextortion scam, which was quite a headspin, I must say.
What happened?
So, you're there, match with someone on an app, move from that app to somewhere else, things get a little bit frisky. At the time, I'm also thinking I'm sending pictures to someone else. It's not the person that I think I'm sending them to.
Mm-hmm.
And so like at a certain point, they wanted to do like a video call. Wasn't really quite down for that, but didn't want to quite lose the fire. About a few seconds into that call, it got hung up, and then started then sending pictures I sent to them back to me, and then screenshots of them going to send them to like people from your Instagram like friends list.
Oh, what happened? Did she end up sending, or I guess it's not a lady. Did they end up sending the photos to your friends and stuff?
Yeah. So they sent it to like 6 people from the list.
Yeah.
One of them was a guy I went to uni with, and they like. So at the time, in the space of time from us sexting, them telling me that they're blackmailing me, then my friend from uni messaging me saying, dude, I've just been sent this, I'm sorry, like, hope you're good. My dick was still hard in like between that time, it happened that fast.
Wait,
yeah.
It happened so fast your dick was still hard by the time you said the post. No, that's here's the thing. That's super fucked up. That's The only real that's super fucked up. The only thing you can really do is be like if you really just got to be like, yep, that's my dick. You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
You just gotta be like, you're like if your friend is like, bro, this like bot account is sending me pictures of your dick, you just gotta be like, yep, that's my dick and balls. That's I am a human man with a penis, and yes, that is a picture of it.
Bit awkward having my friend telling me I had a nice cock though. I can't lie.
Your friend told you you had a nice cock?
Yeah.
All right, so I guess it all worked out in the end.
Somewhat, yeah.
Did she send it to your mom? I mean, what's that though,
Nah.
right? Like your mom's seen your cock, all right? Your mom literally invented your cock. So who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly. But I like somewhat convinced them that I was going to pay them at the end of the month. They deleted the messages, so like to my knowledge, the 6 people they sent it to, that guy was the only one that like opened the message. And like,
was of the six people they sent it to, was there anyone where you were like, I really don't want that person to see this picture of my dick?
Yes, but it was more I didn't want them to talk about it to one of their friends, which I was like very interested in, not at the time, but in the past. It was more, that's just be like really fucking awkward.
Oh, you like had hooked up with this person?
Hadn't hooked up, but had like talked for quite a while and been like on and off, like talking, blah, blah, blah. But nothing like it actually happened. I would rather not. Their first instance of seeing my dick being their like gay best friend, but like, hey, check out Eddie's dick.
Now, what if the extortionist ended up sending this person a picture of your dick, and then they messaged you and they were like, hey, I got a picture of your dick from this random account on Instagram. I'm sorry that happened to you. But then parentheses, they were like, but also it's a nice dick if you ever want to hang out.
I mean, that would have been a nice silver lining.
Well,
yeah.
Did you ever pay this person?
No, I didn't. So now, I like deleted all my social media and like any way they could contact me before the date I told them I was going to pay, and then because they have no way of getting hold of you, they just move on to someone else because they obviously want to make money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then, to my knowledge, it didn't get sent to anyone else, but I like spoke to people that I thought it could get sent to from the list they had. I was like, hey, you might get sent a picture of my dick. A bit awkward. Could you let me know so I know it's happening? And sort of didn't happen. But I guess me somewhat self-exposing it
did make it happen, almost, but not actually.
Well, hold on. When you say self-exposure, you didn't go to your friends and you were like, "Hey, you might get sent a picture of my dick, and just in case if you do, here's what that picture might look like."
Yeah, I did a little bit for some people.
Wait, hold on. I was just joking. Did you really do that?
Yeah, obviously, like self-censored, like put some emojis.
Wait. You preemptively sent a bunch of your friends a picture of your blurry dick?
No, not sent. Like showed him in person. I don't know if that makes it any better or any worse.
I guess. Yeah, I guess that's a strategy. I respect that. Doug, it's good talking to you, sir. Thanks for sharing your stories. Thanks for sharing your accent. Thanks for letting us know what's going on across the pond. Is there anything else you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
I've heard a lot of people callers in say that they're going to study cybersecurity. I don't know if you've noticed that trend as well.
Not at all.
The podcast all the time at work, and all the time I hear cybersecurity, every other couple of shows. Listen out for it. But there's a recommendation to those people. Try get internships while you're at uni. It's a really tough job market when you're a graduate. All right. Take care, sir. You too. Nice talking to you.
I do kind of like that this guy's origin story is that, this whole thing happened with him with the dick pic thing, and so he decides to dedicate his life to cybersecurity.